Welcome back to another episode of Exploring Whiskeys. I'm Eric.
I'm Kevin, and today we're going to continue our exploration of the Old Forester lineup.
I love the backstory on this one.
This is kind of cool. We moved away from just the 86 or the rye or the 100 proof. This starts to get way more interesting.
George Garvin Brown, he kind of revolutionized the industry with this.
Yeah.
He took barrels from 3 different distilleries and then, in a sense, blended them together.
Yeah.
To kind of create the 1870 bottle. And then today, to continue on that tradition, they kind of do the same thing, but they take barrels from 3 different warehouses on 3 different production days and batch them together to continue the 1870 bottle.
Old Forester's founded in 1870. Mm-hmm. And this is just a little nod to truly the man who founded this and started to go away from the single barrel, which caused issues because you don't know how good or bad that's going to be when you sell that, to batching them to try to get a consistent flavor. So it's kind of it's a great little backstory there.
But back then, that was kind of an issue, though.
That was a big issue.
Big issue.
So this is a lineup of no age statement, but a lot of the times we'll call it somewhere between 4.5 to 5 years. Somewhere in that range is what most of it. It's 90 proof. Ooh, and that has a nice smell to it.
Yeah.
That is one interesting part with whiskey. If you've ever spill a little bit while you're on your hands, kind of rub it together, and you can get that oil note off your hands. It's an interest. It's just another interesting way to smell what you're going to smell out of that bourbon.
Oh, it smells good.
That's a lot of sweet notes, fruits.
There's some caramel in there.
Little vanilla.
Very fruity initially, then you pick up that vanilla and caramel. That seems to be kind of part of the standard profile, I think for Old Forester.
Yeah, again, going back to the original point, what we went through with the first couple of Old Foresters, it's still the same mash bill.
Yep.
It's still 72% corn, 18% rye, 10% barley. So they're really, by using all their different warehouses and where they're at in the warehouse and what, height-wise and closeness to they're selecting for very specific things. And each one does.
You gotta wonder where they came up with that.
Smell and taste a little different, though.
Formula, they're like, we're gonna pull from here.
Yeah.
No, and we're gonna pull from here for this one.
Okay, straight off the taste, there's more of the spices come through. A little bit of maybe a cinnamon, some kind of a baking spice, a little bit of barrel note, and then the sweet comes right back into it. Vanilla it's not overpowering.
That initial swallow, that spice just...
It hits you right away.
Yeah, the nose doesn't change much after that first sip.
It's still that mostly fruity.
And you pick up that vanilla
caramel. Yeah. Little floral. Yeah, that's very consistent. I have to expect that the taste will probably change. Like you'll get a little bit more used to those baking notes. A little bit more oakiness.
Yeah, I got that too. Yeah. Overall, though,
it's nice. It's very nice. And at 90 proof, that's a good, the 90 to 100 range, I really think is a good range.
The 90 proof, though, they're, I think, the more seasoned veteran you call them. This is, just like this is perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe someone is still kind of dipping their toe in the water. This is probably just a small cube. Mellow it down just a little bit, but no, I think this is perfect just the way it is right here. No ice needed.
No ice needed. Mm-hmm. No. A little warmth. Just finally started to get a little bit of the warmth coming off of that. It's not a big hug. It's not a burn, but there's a warmth to it. That's really nice. One of the other interesting parts, when they did decide to launch this series, Whiskey Row is what I think they called the series where they did all the ages. Mm-hmm. And when they first started doing this, their blender was a woman, and it's like the first blender of a major distiller in like the modern era. Yeah. So they really came out and did something interesting with this, and you got to love a little nod to the founder.
Yep. Again, I'm a big fan of the Old Forester lineup. I haven't had a bad one yet.
Really haven't? No. That each time, I'm going to say each time it's almost a little bit better. The 100 to the 86, I think I like the 100 a little bit better because I like the proof a little bit better.
I like the 86 better.
The rye was solid for a rye. I know this is really good. I know the 1910 and 1920 are just so good. So I'm waiting for those episodes because I really love some of the notes there because they really get into some unique sweet notes in those two. But you can start to get to those notes. Like they're not.
It's like each bottle is almost a stepping stone to the next one.
Yes, it's not as pronounced. Like every time you move forward, something's a little bit more pronounced. To this, I'm going to say there's a lot more sweetness. And then a whole lot of baking spice in the middle.
A huge baking spice.
Which is kind of an interesting thing because I don't remember that off the 100. I don't remember a huge baking spice. I do remember a little bit more of a proof note.
Yeah, I remember the heat off of it.
Yeah, that is very enjoyable overall. But it's just a sweet baking spice. And then just, it just kind of is there. It's got a nice smooth finish to it.
Yep.
That's a good little drinker right there.
And most of these are pretty easy to find. I mean, we were able to get all of the Old Forester lineup outside of the birthday bourbon and the presidential bottle, which is that's a unicorn. Well, both those bottles are like unicorns, but we were able to get all of them
all in one shot.
One shot. Vern Beverage Depot, our boy
Thank
Matt.
You, Mitt.
But no, I mean, like I said, they're pretty easy to find. I don't think you'd be disappointed. I have not been disappointed at all with anything that I've tried from Old Forester.
So far, I'm gonna root for the Statesman right now. I'm there. I think the Statesman. I'm still interested. We still have a handful of bottles. We got 3 more of the Whiskey Row. We've got the single barrel. I don't think I've ever had that single barrel. And trust me, the birthday bourbon is spectacular.
Well, this is. Yeah, I love Old Forester. I'm glad you're able to join us for this episode. We look forward to you coming back for the next Old Forester. What do we have? What's the next one?
I think it's 1887.
Okay.
Something along those lines. We didn't get into the 1900s yet. I know because it's 1910, 1920, but I think it's like 1887, something along those lines.
Well, we appreciate you joining this episode. We look forward to you coming back and joining us for the next Old Forester episode. Again, if you enjoyed this one, we encourage you to hit the like button at the bottom of the screen.
While you're down there, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, get notified when we put out a new episode, and leave us a comment. Have you had any of those? What are your thoughts? I mean, this is good, but this is also going to be a $45 to $50 bottle. You know, that 100, or even the Statesman, is more in the $30 range. So if you really think dollars-wise,
what's your preference?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. They do have a big range of pricing and trying to get there. So it's a fun little line to explore. So let us know what your thoughts are.
We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers.